Hey, it's Dave from Chaos Guitars. Let's talk a little bit about setups. What they will do, what they won't do. We'll talk a little bit about what I call the setup myth. Um, and we'll get into just a little bit of player alignment, whether it's the setup problem or whether maybe the guitar just isn't for you. So, setup myth, right? I've heard people say, "Well, get a setup; it'll fix everything." Setups won't fix everything. Um, you may be surprised; they may fix more than you think. And I still to this day, every once in a while, I'm surprised, and I'll be like, I'll be darned, that setup took away that whatever issue, and I really didn't think it was going to. So it never ceases to amaze me what a good setup will do. But it's not going to fix your electronic problems. It's not going to fix a ground loop. It's not going to fix major feedback unless you or somebody else went in and cranked your pickup height all the way up to the strings, and that's why you're getting your feedback. If it's something silly like that, because we'll set your pickup height during a setup. But if it's because you've got unpotted pickups or just bad pickups that are horrible microphonic pickups, then it's not going to fix that. So kind of be aware of what to expect going into it. Our setups are a lot more intense than other setups, and we will go through the electronics. We'll clean pots. But if we run into an electronic problem, a ground problem or something like that, that's not covered in the setup, but we will find it. Fret ends, sharp ends, high frets, things like that, we'll find them with a setup. But then we take the next step as to, okay, well, this has to be done and this is what it'll cost. And that's kind of the nice thing about what we do is when our client comes in and we take the guitar, we give it a look over, and I kind of take a few measurements, see what I'm dealing with. I might even rock a few frets if I think we have some high frets, just so I can say to the client, hey, we should be good on a setup and it should only be this much, or I think we're going to run into some high frets and then we're going to be looking at this. So we kind of try to give you an idea when you come in if we're going to be seeing more problems than that. But there's a lot that's involved. You're looking at the nut, we're looking at the bridge, everything that's on this guitar gets looked at. So that's what gets covered. Well, you're obviously your action, your string height, your action, your intonation, all the basic stuff that a setup covers. What do I mean when I say it's a moment in time? Well, I always say it's like a snapshot, right? The setup is a moment in time. So it's at this moment, this guitar is perfect. But if you take it home, throw it on a stand next to a pellet stove, tomorrow this guitar is not going to be perfect anymore. And it doesn't matter how good that setup is, it's only going to be tolerant to a certain extent with its surroundings when it's something that extreme. So the setup I do, I've called it the workhorse setup forever because it's a good setup for workhorse guitars. It's just dependable, it's reliable, and it's just a good setup. That will kind of push back a little bit, and it remains playable through a lot of stuff. But it's still a piece of wood. It's still a living, breathing thing, as I like to say, that moves. And so, it's a moment in time. A setup won't fix what I call player alignment. Player alignment meaning you come in, you bring me your guitar, and you're like, I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Okay, but did you ever like it? Because maybe it's just not the guitar for you. So now I kind of have to explain or talk to you and carefully get some answers as to, did this guitar ever feel right to you? Because if it never felt right to you, how long did you have it? Was it ever set up before? Maybe it's just not the guitar for you. And it's happened quite a few times in the past. I have a couple guitars here of my own that I just don't play and probably won't play because they just aren't fun to play. They're not enjoyable. They don't feel right. And there's nothing wrong with the guitar. It's just, it doesn't match to me and I don't match to it. So you definitely have to match to your instrument. There's no doubt about it. So maybe it's just that the person doesn't match to their guitar. And if we can figure that out beforehand, then, maybe we do something different. If they're insistent on keeping it, maybe we do something quicker and easier so we can save them a little bit of money or something. Maybe we can figure something else out. There's a lot of things to consider is my point when you're coming in for a setup. And that's basically what we try to do, is we try to talk to our clients and figure out what's going on. Is it a guitar issue? Is it an electronic issue? Is it an amplifier issue? I've had a couple guitars in the past that have come here where our clients have sworn it was the guitar, and then we find out it was the wiring in their house at home. So, we're always looking into more than what we think when the guitar comes in here. So you bring me a guitar for a setup, I'm looking at it as a setup, and what else am I going to run into? Am I going to run into high frets? Am I going to run into bridge problems? Am I going to run into electronic problems? Am I going to run into, I look the entire guitar over, I look for micro cracks, I look for fretboard separation, because that tells me there's another problem somewhere else, and therefore we forego the setup right now because we need to figure out what else is going on. So I'm not looking to, sell you on something you don't need. I'm looking to give you a guitar that works great, that you're happy with. So that's pretty much what a setup does, what it doesn't do as far as we're concerned, and how we handle it. So I hope this helps you understand a little better, because understanding comes first. Thanks for joining us.